I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is a regular meeting of the Cedarburg School Board and is a public meeting. Prior notices have been placed in the district and additional copies were forwarded to the city and town of Cedarburg, as well as the News Graphic and Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. We can all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, consent agenda.
Thank you. Thank you for all of those who are joining us this evening, and I appreciate the flexibility. Our meeting from last week had to get bumped to this week. And Kristen, congratulations on running your first meeting. We'll make certain we give you a hard time. Audience, everyone wants to speak. Use all 3 minutes.
I wanted music and snacks, but no one was down.
So I'd ask the board to approve the consent agenda, which includes the minutes from the December 15th board meeting, the minutes from the January 3rd board meeting, the budget, which includes the financial information, summary of accounts, check register, check detail, and credit card transactions, as well as the personnel report, which Conrad Farner is here to give an update on.
Good evening. We have a few action items for professional staff this evening. 3 retirement requests by teachers. Barbara Donaldson, Danelle Hughes, and Alice Matthews have all requested to retire at the end of this year. Caitlin Gillespie and Kevin Condon have put in resignations effective on the dates that you can see on the report. And we have 3 teacher contracts for approval. These are non-renewing contracts just for this semester. It's just another one of our efforts to try to keep the buildings as fully staffed as we can during the pandemic. So we're referring to them as floating teachers. Megan Kosteretz, Sarah Bowe, and Hannah Van Valkenburg. We ask for approval of all those tonight.
So moved.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye, that was an aye. All right, moving into public comment. There were no names that signed up ahead of time. Do I have anyone here that would like to speak? No? Okay. All right. Then we'll move into recommendations for tonight. We have 1 recommendation.
This evening, we're asking the board to approve the open enrollment numbers for next year. Ted Knowles here to speak a little bit about that. In the background piece in board docs, we provided you with the numbers. These have been vetted through P&F and are being brought forward for your approval.
Correct. This was brought to P&F and received approval there. So tonight we're asking for approval on 33 open enrollment seats, 1 seat in each grades, 4K, 1st, 2nd, 4th, and 5th, 6 seats in grade 3, 5 seats in grade 6, 7 seats in grade 7, and 10 seats in grade 11. There are 0 special education seats available at all grade levels this school year, or for the 22-23 school year.
I just have 1 question. So the memo that we had different numbers than the recommendation. Can you speak to that?
What is on here should be the seats we approved,
Okay,
but were approved to P&F.
okay.
Yeah, the memo was what was presented to P&F, and that was what was
Got it.
discussed. So we wanted to provide that as background, but what you're seeing in the recommendation is what P&F had agreed to.
Correct.
And note that that is a bit different than what we had proposed, and what we had proposed put us within the guidelines and policy that the board has set forth. And so we would ask if this is the recommended approval of the board that we would need to waive policy because it's a little less than what policy would recommend.
Got it. So we're going to make 2 motions for this recommendation. We're going to first make a motion to suspend the policy, so I'll read that, and then we'll take a recommendation for the board seats, or for the enrollment seats.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah.
The 2? In the attachment, there's a kind of a matrix for each grade and then projected enrollment. I'm assuming the numbers in that projected enrollment include the recommended number of open enrollment seats, or is that the current number that's in there?
Oh, yeah, good question.
Let me get there.
It's the board memo open enrollment seats is the name of the file.
Yeah, Ted, do you know off the top of your head?
There is a column there for recommended seats.
Yep.
And that would be what the P&F, as I'm understanding that memo looks like. And Brenda, you can help me. That's what was.
Okay, so
The
the number in that
projection.
second column is the projected number, so I'm assuming that means including the open enrollment seats, but I wasn't sure. Or if that's just projecting the current number.
Projecting the current number, yes.
Okay,
Okay.
that's my only question, thank you.
I think we were a bit conservative on some of these numbers just because we were talking about waiting for a study on, we know there's some new subdivisions coming in and just we always want to make sure we have room for new Cedarburg students. And so, and we were told that we still can reevaluate this in summer, correct?
Okay. Do we expect some of those new developments to hit the district in the fall next year, next school year?
And maybe Ben can speak more to that, and Superintendent, they track that a bit more than I do.
Yeah, I've been driving through those
Yeah.
areas, and in fact, last time Ben and I both went out there, and I don't anticipate that we're going to see that hitting in the fall, but certainly it could be sometime next year,
Sure.
or certainly in the 23-24 school year. Yeah. The Bayman property is the one that has all the infrastructure in there, and the roads, has the street lamps, has the sidewalks, but they have not broken ground on any homes as of yet.
Yeah.
And that particular development would impact the Parkview, because that's the Parkview attendance area.
If someone buys a lot, but they do not build yet, are they entitled to come to the school as a student?
No.
No?
You have to reside, the student has to live, sleep, as the state law says, in the residence they're claiming as their school district. And so until that student is enrolled and attending our school, we don't count that student at all.
All right, I'm gonna do the first one, it's a bit of a mouthful. So per bylaw 0131.1, the board shall suspend a policy by majority vote of the board, and this suspension under bylaw 0131.1 shall expire automatically at the next public meeting of the board. To approve the number of open enrollment seats as presented and recommended by the PNF committee, I'm asking the board for a motion to suspend policy 2312.01, class size ranges for this action item only. So, do I have a motion to bypass or suspend policy 2312.01?
So moved.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I was late for the meeting and I wish I could have made a public comment. It never happens this quickly.
I know, it's a very short agenda.
And it's too late.
It is. I already went through it, sorry. I will now take a recommendation regarding the 2022-23 open enrollment seats as presented.
I would make a motion to accept it. I'll second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. And with that, we are going to adjourn into executive session. I will take a motion to adjourn into executive session to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility pursuant to 19.851C of the Wisconsin statutes, and on agenda is teacher and support staff compensation. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right,
Adjourned.
that's it. Sorry it was the shortest meeting there.